I'm gonna give you the only hypertrophy workout that you need to get big, and we're gonna start right now. So this is gonna be a type of workout that we did with Sam Mattis to get his arms to 22 inches. He's freaking huge. And Sam Mattis is a two-time Olympian, okay? So one of the things that we do is we're gonna immediately focus on a good warm-up. Now, first exercise. This is gonna look terrible. Don't make fun of me. I'm watching Haley Reichert right now in peak strength. Put it right here where she does snow angels. Actually, she does kneeling thoracic extensions here, rotations, thoracic rotations here. And I feel like I have a block literally right at this point. And I'm watching her do this perfectly and recognizing that if I was a little bit more mobile, I'd probably be a little bit more swole in my upper back. So, oh my God. We wanna do 7 to each side. That's the first exercise. I wanna do the left side quick. Here. Oh, I feel a little bit better, but still really stiff. And I feel like I have to move my butt to actually, oh, my back's cracking. Oh. Okay. That's the first exercise for the warm-up. Next one, standing snow angels. I feel like I'm doing like tummy up, tummy down, tummy up, tummy down. Okay, here. And I think this is a big one just to get everything greased up, get it grooving. Okay, try to feel those shoulders nice and mobile. Next movement, W's. Okay, now I want you guys to recognize this is going to be a warm-up for this. This entire workout, you're gonna get a stupid freaking pump. Absolutely insane pump. Okay, so we're gonna go W's here. This is with our power elastics. Available at garagestrength.com. Oh, actually, one thing, I'll tell you a little quick story while I'm doing these, because I'm gonna go back through this one more time. We made these power elastics during COVID. We couldn't get bands from China. So we found a place that could actually make these bands in the United States. Okay, so we called them, we're like, yo, we need to get bands so that we can have good warm-ups and we can have good pumps. Literally telling them on the phone, and the lady's laughing at me like, what are you even talking about? Long story short, we ended up buying thousands of bands and made our own bands, and now we're selling them at garagestrength.com. So I'm gonna come back through here. Oh, why is my right side so terrible? Okay, one more time through. And then we're gonna get into the meat of this workout. The whole purpose here today is that I want you to feel through the entire session. Feel strong, get a big, huge pump, and we're gonna go through each set, okay, working through the goal of the set, okay? Each set plays a major role in the grand scheme of the entire workout, all right? And it's gonna be upper body base, so you're gonna get a huge pump. I want you to do it today. It's something that we have inside of our strength training app, Peak Strength, okay? So I'm gonna finish this workout, this warm-up, not workout, and then we're gonna get rolling because I'm gonna have to do my warm-up for the first exercise. So right now we're spending 4 or 5 minutes just loosening up those shoulders, loosening up the back. I did some PVC pipe walks ahead of time and some frog squats because that's also in the warm-up. Now let's get big. Okay, so warm-up. First warm-up, I'm gonna get the 55s. I forget if we were supposed to do the 55s or the 60s. Now, I'm gonna hit this for 10, okay? I wanna just go through. We're doing dumbbell bench. A little bit of a pause. Try and feel a little bit more loose, a little bit more mobile. I like to feel a little bit pause, pause, stretch, drive. Okay, pause, drive, pause, drive. One more up, okay? Now, we're doing this with underhand reclining rows. Now, one thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna tell my video guy right now, I'm not gonna go do the underhand reclining rows because I'm gonna rest. And in Peak Strength, our strength training app that we designed specifically for athletes and for anyone who's trying to get bigger, get stronger, get healthier, get more explosive. Okay, in our app, I'm now supposed to go, I'm gonna grab the 80s, and I'm gonna do my first set. Remember, this is a hypertrophy workout. So I'm gonna keep my rest time around 60 to 90 seconds. Between when we do these supersets, it's basically gonna be like a 30-second rest from exercise 1 to exercise 2. Then I'm gonna get that 60 to 90 seconds rest, okay? Now, another big thing, you have to wear a pump cover. Okay, so growing up, I remember going to the gym and seeing the big, huge, monstrous dudes, and we had pants back in the day in the 90s called Zubaz. And these dudes would wear Zubaz pants and big pump covers. And then after they got their pump rolling, then of course they'd have their stringer on underneath. So you have to have a pump cover with a stringer. Okay, so the first exercise I'm gonna do, or the first set I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna grab the 80s, and I just wanna use this first set. Remember I talked about how each set matters for the whole workout. I'm just doing this to grease the groove, okay? I wanna get moving, I wanna feel good tension, I wanna have good pop in the concentric, I wanna be explosive. Then we're gonna do the underhand reclining row for 12, and then I'm gonna come back here, and each subsequent set is gonna build into that last set or 2 sets where we really, really wanna push the quality reps. That's where we wanna get a lot of stress. We wanna get a big, huge freaking pump that's gonna lead us close to failure or at failure so we can get good growth. Okay, 80s. So that's the first set. I'm gonna go to the reclining row, and I even like to think about when we're doing the superset here, the reclining row is really almost just like an extra warm-up for me to feel a little bit of tension. So this is a full upper body, okay? Good bicep, good lat, lower trap. I like to have my toes up so I have minimal push from my legs. And I like to think about bringing the bottom of my sternum up to the bar. Okay, so now 60 to 90 seconds, that's what we'll get the rest. I'm gonna grab my cell phone so that I can log some hours on IG, tell everybody I'm working out, getting a good pump. Then we're gonna get into the second set. So second set, 85s for 10. Again, I wanna see good tension set. Up fast here. Okay, so I have good tension. I'm gonna do the underhand reclining. The next set is where I wanna start to really push the good, strong feeling. Okay, so we're gonna hit this. Oh! Okay. Dude, these are freaking oddly pump worthy. It's not that hard. Get a good freaking pump, feel freaking strong. So we're gonna go back. I'm gonna put the weights away like any good gym goer does. We're gonna hit the hundreds for 10. That's gonna set us up for the last 2 big sets, okay? So the last big set is gonna be where we hit the 110s, and then I forget what we do after that, okay? But I'm gonna get into the next set right now with the hundos. Does anybody else notice how dirty the gym is? Yo, it's like after a day when it's humid. It looks clean. It looks clean when it's humid. And then the next morning, it's like everything sticks. Yes. And it's just like every kid that was in here, every piece of dust is sticking to everything. There's dust sticking to the hundreds. It's ridiculous. That's me trying to stall to get some more time. Okay, hundos. Oh. For 10. I think there can be a benefit to having the feet on your bench, especially dumbbell. I like putting them up. In case I start to die, I can really cheat and arch the shit out of my back. I also think though, when your feet are up, I tend to brace more in my trunk. so I'm a little more stable in my lats and my traps. Honestly, I think that's probably personally my biggest benefit that I see with the feet up. Okay, underhand. Also, everybody just cries that I always lift my butt when I bench, and I tend to lift my butt less when I got my feet up like that. So, all right, we're gonna rest. We're gonna hit the 110s. My right shoulder's a little buggy, but like any meathead does, when you start to feel something, you just pretend it's not there. And when you pretend it's not there, eventually it disappears. Or inside of peak strength, you can actually go click on the mobility portion and do the mobility aspect to help handle whatever that specific problem area is. That's one freaking awesome thing, is that you can highlight at the end of a workout, okay, this is my back, shoulder, whatever, and we'll give you 3 or 4 different mobility movements that you can use to improve that. So that's a really freaking phenomenal part, is the way that we design programs for our Olympians, for our middle school kids, for our kids that are 12 years old. They come in, they do a good warm-up. We do a heavy lift first, okay, then we'll do some strength lifts, and then we're gonna get into some big time pump with your accessories, and we build this out so you have specific goals and specific sports that you're working towards, okay, for long periods of time. It's a long buy-in, and that's the best part about peak strength. We've got a link down below in our description, okay? Click that link in the description, go to peakstrength.app. You can sign up there, or you can go to the Apple iOS store, the Google Play Store, download that today, you'll get 7 free days. Now, I gotta try and do the 110s. I forget if it's 10 or I can also alter the reps to make my workout slightly easier. Yeah. Okay, I'm actually altering my weight to the 110s for 10. Okay, so I gotta do 10, go to the underhand reclining, then I gotta do the hundreds for 17, so I shouldn't put the hundos away. Okay, so I'm gonna set this up. This is where I like to think about with hypertrophy. Dude, I bought these. Oh no, these were actually old Penn State wrestling dumbbells, pre-Cale Sanderson era, that I got for $90. I don't even know why I was telling that story. Okay, I'm gonna hit the 110s for 10, okay? Underhand reclining row. When we come back, these are the sets, these last 2 sets. Everything is building to these 2 sets for this pairing. I'm starting to get a pretty good pump. After I finish the dumbbell bench, the pump cover's coming off. Don't worry, I'm not wearing a stringer. Then we're gonna go through, but we're gonna hit this. This set matters, the next set matters. That's where the big growth comes into play. So when you get a pretty good pump, you get good tension going, we wanna get right to failure or fail. It's okay to fail, okay? And that's where you're gonna see big time sarcoplasmic growth. All right, 110s. My shoulder. I did dips earlier this week. I also was thinking I've been playing around with a tricep exercise. At the end of this workout, I might give that as a little add-on, a bonus crazy tricep exercise. Jason, the videographer's got to remind me of that. That's good. I'm doing 9. Keep thinking about bring the sternum to the bar. Good lat, good bicep. It's interesting too. It's like, I like reclining rows because you feel like this, boom, right? And when we're hitting big bench, when we're queuing up our younger kids, I like to cue them on that. Here, sternum to the bar. That's gonna lengthen the pec more, and it's building that upper back to become more like a shelf. Then you apply more force. And then that transfers over to sports too. All right, one more set. I got 17, the hundreds. I'm gonna work to 1 rep left in the tank, rest, and hit it again. Little John Meadows pump, little John Meadows drop set. So we did just do a video on John Meadows, and if you guys don't know, John literally saved garage strength. He was an absolute dog. Emailed him randomly. He emailed me back, said he would meet with me. This is the peak COVID, during COVID 2020. And he was like, yo, I'll talk to you. I'll help you with your business. He didn't charge me shit. He's like, go all in on YouTube. Just film your workouts and talk about getting really pumped up. But try and spread as much positive value as possible to people who are looking to get better, to become better athletes. We did that. We started at like 5,000 subscribers in 2020. And now this is where we're at. And we're trying to keep this rolling. So I hope you guys appreciate John Meadows. Go check out his channel, Mountain Dog. He's absolutely one of the greatest guys ever from my experience with him. And on top of that, he was so full of great knowledge. And honestly, like his drop sets would be, look, push your drop set to failure or right to the cusp of failure, rest 10 to 20 seconds, repeat that, and that's where you're gonna get big time growth. So that's what we're gonna do right here, this set of 17 with the hundreds. I've actually got a decent pump rolling, so we'll see here. This is like my triceps feel big shakeout. That's 9. I was trying there, go 20 seconds on the timer. I was trying there to get a big stretch. Once I start to fail, get that big, huge stretch on the pec. Okay, about 15 seconds, stretch the pec, feel the triceps. Remember, this is a hypertrophy workout. A lot of you guys don't recognize working in sets of 15 to 30, that's where the growth comes. That's where the mental growth comes too. You wanna get in the flow state? I actually just talked about this on a video we filmed yesterday. All these meditative people, oh, I gotta get in the flow state, but they don't wanna lift weights. When you lifting weights, you're in the freaking flow state. That's good. 3 more. That was from a rock video, actually. Focus. Oh, shit. I gotta get 3 more, I think. Yeah, I think. 10 more seconds. Focus. All right, one more set of the reclining row. Then we'll get to the next portion. I hope you guys are doing this, because if you're doing this, you're getting a dummy pump. Okay, rest like 4 to 5 minutes before we get to the next pairing. The next exercise, okay, we're gonna go 17 on a spider curl. And I liked spider curls a lot. And what we're gonna do, this is our box here. We'll use this box. We'll use a taller brown box. We'll use a bench. And if you don't have a box, you can use on an incline bench. You can lean over on an incline bench. And if you don't have that, you can do preacher curl. That's one of the things inside Peak Strength. You can actually replace the exercise with another piece of equipment that you might have, okay? So I'm gonna do the spider curls for 17. Then we're gonna do a banded tricep extension. I'm gonna show you a little technique that I like to get the big time pump from that. And we're gonna go back and forth. We got 17, 20, 17, 20. We're going through this to get that monster dummy pump, okay? So we're gonna go here. I have no idea how many I did now. One thing you'll notice that I like on that, and I'll show you the next one with the incline. What I like about that, there's a book called Points of Flexion, okay? And in Points of Flexion, they talk about top range, they talk about end range, and they talk about mid range. And what I just showed you was that top range. So if you're somebody who struggles with like a chin up, locking out, do spider curls at the top range. If I had the bigger brown box, I would be doing end range, okay? So that was more mid to top, okay? Now, I'm gonna have, this is the HAF band. It's, I also think it's just hilarious because we sell a band and we call it the HAF band, which means heavy as and it is actually heavy as fuck. This is one of the bands that you can buy this. You literally put it in your bag. So when I travel all over the world, I've been in Uzbekistan with one of these things, just hitting a workout out on the hotel balcony, literally with our bands. Now, where I'm going with this is gonna get you a dummy pump. I want your knuckles together here, okay? I wanna come up like this. And when you get here, big stretch overhead. Big stretch overhead, right here. And then you can just walk away as you start to feel a little bit better. Get a little bit deeper on it, a little more tension as you walk away. And the best part is, it's just like the dumbbell bench, okay? And the reason I'm saying that is that when you hit that on the dumbbell bench, you know, when we hit that first set, you're just establishing the groove. That's all you're doing. The second set, now you're starting to stimulate a little bit more. The third set, the fourth set, now we're trying to look to fail. Now we're trying to get close to that failing point. Okay, so that's like a big factor. Now, I showed you with the spider curls, the bench, or the box. I'm gonna show you how I would do it on the incline. And then whichever one I'm feeling better on is where we're gonna do the next 2 sets. Take the pump cover off. Take off the pump cover. I'm a little small right now, I've been running a lot. Just got a treadmill here at Garage Strength. My son Sanderson just turned 10 and he wanted a treadmill for his birthday. First day he was on the treadmill, he ran 3 miles. At 7.5 miles per hour, which is actually insane. Egotistically, I would love for Sanderson to become like a savage 800-meter runner so I could just be the dad on the sideline just screaming at him during races. So this would be the chest supported version. So we're here. And notice there's a little bit less English, but I can still get a little bit of a swing. And now this is end range. We talked about the book, point inflection. Okay. Now, you're gonna get back here. Set here. Remember the knuckles. Shoot, where's the, oh yeah, knuckles is in Sonic, right? Think about Sonic. Knuckles for Sonic. Big stretch right here, big stretch, boom. Best part about these hypertrophy workouts, one, if you're an athlete, building a bigger muscle, building the bigger structure will help you put out more force if you're doing the other work, okay? If you're doing the fast movements, if you're doing explosive movements, if you're lifting heavy. Younger kids, if you're a dad or a mom and you got a kid that's 10 to 15 and you want to get them into lifting, get them into some hypertrophy stuff first. Because now they learn how to deal with tension, they learn how to deal with that discomfort. And instead of flailing, you know, first 6 weeks they're gonna be flailing, but then over time, they start to like the feeling that they get. Kids wanna be pushed, kids wanna be stimulated, kids want to be doing things that are hard because they're stubborn. And that's where lifting is so freaking beneficial, especially hypertrophy-based training. I'm gonna go a little more narrow. Back to the band, then we'll do one more set. Last set I'm gonna go back on the box, because that felt pretty good there. Hit 2 sets on the box, hit 2 sets on the, oh.
How did the grip change your what you're targeting?
Inside more. I mean, I don't know if this is accurate, but inside of the curl bar, I always feel like it's a little bit more of the inside of the bicep. Actually, recently we were in, what airport was that? Ronald Reagan? And Devin Larrath was running literally down the terminal. And I was like, yo, I think that's Devin Larrath. And Jason, the guy behind the camera, was like, what? And this dude's running. And he's running. Biceps, forearms are massive, okay? And I like to think about that. When I come inside, I want to get a little turn at the top. And I like to think about the inside of my thumb coming to my nose, okay? And I feel like a little more inside of my bicep gets hit and a little bit more like this part of my forearm. So right there. So it's like, I like to think about that action when I'm flexing as hard as I possibly can. That creates a little bit more tension. And now that tension also leads to that mind-muscle movement and mind-muscle connection. And that's gonna lead hopefully to more growth, possibly to those Devin Larrath forearms. Okay, now I'm gonna go back on the box. So this is gonna be top range, the end range of the curl. Okay, I'm gonna hit this. Then I'm gonna go back to that tricep extension. When I would like to think about with a tricep extension is a lot of high school kids struggle in the overhead position. So when you're doing a banded tricep extension, you immediately have to set your upper back and retract more in your upper back. And now, okay, so if I think about a pitcher, okay, if I even think about a shot putter, if I'm hitting a jerk, now when I'm hitting those tricep movements overhead, that's gonna help me with stability in that overhead position. So someone like Sam Mattis, we talked about how Sam had 22-inch buys. Okay, when he's been at his peak hypertrophic gains in the fall, 22-inch biceps, arms, right? Those overhead tricep lockouts are what help him then go hit a 500-pound behind the neck jerk. So this work helps him get more explosive in, more stable in that overhead position. That's some of the important stuff behind this. I'm gonna cheat just a little bit like this now. Oh man. All right, I'm good with that. One more triceps.
What do you think the most common mistake people make is when they train triceps?
When someone's training triceps, I think the biggest mistake that they make, one, not getting to this position with elbow flexion. Here, lengthening is strengthening. Lengthening is strengthening, okay? If I'm in a tricep, if I want my tricep to get as pumped as possible, as much growth as possible, I want to flex as much as I can in an overhead position. That's also why I think close grip incline bench is phenomenal for tricep growth. You get heavy load and you get a big stretch. So miracle grows, another movement. This exercise, tension is gonna be very, very high because it's always in the band. Load might not be as high, but because of the band, the tension that gets set in the stretch position. So if we're here doing a tricep extension, it's okay, but really a tricep press down, and dude, I love push downs, right? You get a good pump. Really here is no different than those partials I was doing on set one of the spider curl, okay? Which is fine, they're good. But when we wanna hit the whole tricep, all three heads, big time, we want a big, deep stretch, and that gets you a little bit more full range of motion, that's gonna get that big gain. So I gotta get peak strength because I forget what the last two exercises are. I got a good pump, so if you guys are following along, you should be starting to feel pretty freaking full in the arms. Okay, so we're gonna do two more movements, and then I'm gonna give you that sneaky last exercise that's gonna be awesome that I want you guys to try that I've been playing around with. Oftentimes, growing up, I would be at the gym, right, at Bodyworks here in Reading, Pennsylvania, and we would be doing exercises where we'd be trying to get a big pump with easy curl bar. And all the meatheads would have every easy curl bar taken. So I got this easy curl bar, it's a fat bar, okay? I got that personally fabricated. I'm gonna take the super bar. Okay, so this is actually called a super bar, which I never actually knew that, but we're gonna do standing, it's supposed to be a standing easy curl. Gotta put the hat on backwards. So we're gonna get here, right? And I just wanna be as controlled as possible. And now the big thing here, remember, each set matters. So we're just setting the stage for that last big set where we're gonna get big time reps. Okay, so we're gonna hit here. Nice and controlled, good movement. Okay, right to a decent pump. Now, this is our strength band. It's a little bit more tension. Now I'm gonna go here, and I wanna get, remember, stretch here. It's a ghost face kickback. Okay, so we're here. Ooh. And I just wanna feel that good tricep lockout. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna rest about 20 seconds. I'm gonna go right back to that standing easy curl bar. Now, I've hated dumbbell kickbacks. Hated them. I've always thought they were so stupid. When I got the HAF band and I got the strength band, okay, this is peak COVID, I would come in here, I thought the whole world was about to end. I'd squat facing the wall over there because I was trying to squat as heavy as I possibly could. And no one would be in here, and then I would clown around. We got these bands, we tied these special knots. I found a knot tying website for the Navy. I started tying the specific knot that we needed on there, and then I just started playing around with exercises. I knew I hated tricep kickbacks. So what I did, started playing around, well, what about normal kickbacks with a band? Like the strength band, okay, normal kickbacks. And I would get the dumbest pump, dummy pump. Okay, and I think it's from that tension at the back, just holding that locked out position. So I absolutely love ghost face kickbacks. Named after my Instagram handle. Follow me on Instagram so I can feel better about my life. Now, as I get through this set here, I want to try and think about squeezing at the top, okay? Blowing that up a little bit more. Now we're gonna get back here on the kickback. Okay, the cool part with these handles, makes it a little bit easier. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, now we're gonna go through one more time, and then we're gonna give you that sneaky last exercise that's not even in peak strength yet. We're putting it in the next round of exercises, but it's a movement that I clowned around with around like 2022 in Oregon, actually. It was the first time I did it. And then I revisited it. I saw the exercise inside a Bill Pearl book. So when I saw it inside the Bill Pearl book, I was like, oh, so that movement does have some functionality in the sense of getting a huge pump. So that's where we're going with that last exercise, but we're gonna do these first two, then we're gonna get to that last secret tricep move. Isn't it weird when you think about like functional? It's like, somebody will say like, this isn't functional. And like, for some reason, functional is supposed to be like exactly representative of a movement. Like even in like pop culture, like if you tell a dad or a mom, like, oh, that, doing a squat or a clean, it's not functional. And it's like, we had a physical therapist once tell us that a trap bar deadlift was more functional because you're picking something up. It's like, okay, what if I don't do trap bar deadlifts at all, but I can squat 500 pounds? Who's gonna be more functional? And it's the same thing with something like this. Like, dude, if I can do a standing bicep curl with 45s on the bar, and I'm a wrestler, and some other dude's doing functional dumb shit, they're doing functional patterns. Are you really telling me that if Nowdy came into my gym and we went to wrestle, I wouldn't destroy him? But he does functional patterns. He is the pattern of functionality. He literally should be able to destroy me because he's so functional. But that's where it doesn't make any freaking sense. It's like, dude, if I'm training to get big and I'm training to be fast, and I'm training to be strong, and I'm explosive, my functional shit is literally gonna shit on your face with functionality. I want to start like a cult of functionality. And, and my theme song is gonna be from Living Color. The cult of functionality. Now I just got the Living Color song stuck in my head. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's the end of the workout, okay? But I'm gonna give you one more. This is a fun one. I played around with this, and actually, my son Lincoln lifted on Wednesday after his track meet, and I was playing around with this when he was lifting, because I wanted to see how I felt. My triceps are still a little sore. That's why I only got 12 reps or whatever I got with the 110s. That's the only reason why. Not because I'm a bad person. So I'm gonna get set here, okay? And remember the whole rule here is that deep stretch. And then I wanna hold tension in the lockout. Now, it's almost like a miracle grow, holding that constant tension and lockout. And whenever you have an exercise where you get the shakes like that a little on the stretch, it's a good freaking exercise. And that's the big thing there. One, I think older guys, if you're watching still, we got tight upper backs, right? So that is a movement. It's like hitting the mobility, okay? And then I'm gonna hit this lockout and have to hold stable. And you have to hold stable, then you get the jumps as you're doing it, right? So you got to squeeze in your abs and really hold that full position. So I don't even know what those are called. I just call them incline lean back tricep extensions with a dumbbell. So maybe we should come up with a naming convention. But I've been doing those once a week. Try those today. Again, if you guys want to join the cult of functionality, make sure you like, you subscribe, you ring the notification bell. All of this stuff comes back to how you're going to set up your workouts. In our peak strength workout, we hit the big lift first. Then we get to some easier, more isolated base accessories. This is a hypertrophy workout. This is how we set up our hypertrophy to get a big pump, to get as strong as possible, to get as swole as possible. Just click that link down below in the description. Head over to peakstrength.app, the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store, because remember, freaks, if you want to become a champion, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.